Queen Elizabeth II came to the British throne in 1953. She was 27 years old. She is now 81 and has been the monarch for 55 years. She is currently one of the longest reigning monarchs in UK history, only beaten by Victoria, George III, Henry III and James VI. But if she stays on the throne until the 9th of September 2015, she will, at the age of 89, surpass Queen Victoria as Britain's longest reigning monarch. Another 10 years after that, and she could become the longest reigning monarch in European history, outdoing even Louis XIV of France. In addition, if she survives until the 21st of December 2007, she will, at the age of 81 years and 244 days, be the longest-lived British monarch. She and Prince Philip are also due to celebrate their diamond wedding anniversary in November 2007. In the early part of her reign, the Queen undertook many tours, visiting the most far-flung parts of the globe, as well as spots closer to home. In 1967, she visited Ireland to open a bridge named after her, over a century after her ancestor Victoria had opened the Queen's Bridge right next to it. And when she wasn't touring the globe would come to her. In 1989, she hosted the Soviet leader Mikhail Gorbachev on his first visit to the UK after becoming president in 1985. During the visit, the politician famous for introducing the concepts of glasnost and perestroika into the Soviet Union before its collapse in the late 1980s also had talks with business leaders and Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. The Queen's own relationship with Mrs. Thatcher, who was Prime Minister of the UK for 11 years, from 1979, was the subject of much debate. It is believed that the Queen disagreed with her minister on such issues as Mrs. Thatcher's opposition to Commonwealth sanctions in South Africa, although Mrs. Thatcher has often spoken of her admiration for the monarch, and on leaving office, she was presented with a life peerage and several other honours indicating a level of mutual respect. During 1977's Silver Jubilee celebrations, even Virginia Wade's only ever Wimbledon singles title was regarded as a tribute to the occasion by the patriotic masses. In 1981, the spotlight turned most brightly on the royal family when the Queen's eldest son and heir, Charles, the Prince of Wales, married Lady Diana Spencer. But the dizzying heights of national joy and fervour were soon dimmed as stories of adultery and despair began to surface. This was the most challenging period in the history of the contemporary British monarchy, as a stately and dignified institution found itself the subject of gossip magazines and tawdry reporting. Charles and Diana's divorce in 1996 did nothing to quell this, and her death the following year in a car crash in Paris saw the royal family plunged into its most difficult time to date. When the Queen tried to follow centuries-old royal protocol in her handling of the crisis, she was accused by the British media of being cold and out of touch with her subjects. It is a testament to the Queen's fortitude, service and resilience that the House of Windsor survived the crisis of 1997. And while other members of the royal family see their popularity wax and wane in the eyes of the public, the Queen's personal profile remains strong. She is seen as an unwavering and reassuring presence in an uncertain world. And while the celebratory tone across the UK on her Golden Jubilee in 2003 was more muted than that of 25 years earlier, there was still a widespread feeling of warmth and respect for this most beloved of monarchs.